This is Professor L.B. Gayawad's English Literature Web. I am Professor L.B. Gayakawad is discussing today on the topic Occasions and Examples of Speeches. This is my lecture 289 and part first. In this lecture, we will see some special occasions and lectures or the speeches which are given on these special occasions. And with the explanation of the occasions, we will see some examples. So we will start. Through these occasional speeches, remember all these are the occasional speeches. Through these all occasional speeches, ceremonial speaking and different types of inspirational speaking we learn. Means remember here, when the speaker goes to give the ceremonial speech outside into the society, this ceremonial speech gives us the particular inspiration and the information of the ceremony. The entertaining speeches come under the category of special occasional speeches. Remember, when we think of the occasional speeches, then all these occasional speeches are entertaining. It means they are spoken or they are delivered only for making the entertainment of the society, means they are very light speeches. Such entertaining speeches show the emphasis of the particular events that is uncommon in man's life. Remember, all these entertaining speeches are the particular events and they are uncommon in the life of man. Such speeches are used at the time of the common events, that is the general events like marriages, awards, funerals and political events. At these occasions, the speakers are invited to release or to deliver talks on these ceremonial events. Remember, the speakers go or the speakers are invited to give the speeches on such occasions. At first, we will see the special speech, and the occasion is speeches at ceremonies. Remember, when there are the ceremonies or when there are the festivals or when there are the cultural days, on all these cultural days there are the speeches, and now we are discussing on those speeches. These speeches are delivered going through formality and culture. Remember, all these speeches are delivered or given thinking of the formality because they are formal, and thinking of the culture because they are given to maintain the culture in the societies. These scenes are very special for people, so people give speeches on the festivals. Remember, these speeches are special, these scenes are special because the festivals in the life of the people are also special. Because suppose the marriages. Now remember, when we think of the marriages are the special events in the life of the persons, and that's why it is the special thing. Then the second is award function. When there is the award function, that is also the special function in the life of the gentleman, and that's why these speeches are very special. Then there are the occasions of the funerals, and these are also the special, and also then political events. All these things I will say, or all these occasions are very special, and that's why these lectures are called the special lectures, and such special lectures are given at this time or at these festivals. We will study now the 8 types of ceremonial, that is occasional speeches. The first is introduction speech. This is known as the mini speech given by the ceremony host to introduce the chief guest. Remember, there is the chief guest and there is the introduction by the speaker there at the time of this introduction speech. The speech of the host herself or himself means, remember, the speech of the host, that is, the host will be a woman or a man. So the speech of the host herself or himself, that is, he or she will give the speech, and in that speech this he or she will give the introduction of the chief guest. Here the introducer, that is the speaker or the host, should not introduce only the chief guest, but he or she should deliver a complete speech. Means, remember, the speaker should give the complete speech here, and a clear introduction and explanation and conclusion of the total program. The host should finish the introduction within 2 minutes. Remember, the host should not take more than 2 minutes to finish the introduction. The host shouldn't introduce himself or herself. Remember, it is not the job of introducing the host there. Means the host should not tell about himself or herself. He must focus on the chief guest. Remember, he is there or she is there to discuss about the chief guest. So the host must grab the audience, means he should or she should capture the attention of the audience by introducing them that you have learned about our chief guest. Remember, this speaker or this host should talk there that the audience have understood, learned a lot of things from the chief guest. There is an article just yesterday published on his contribution to society. Means the host has to tell that the chief guest has published the article and this is the contribution of the chief guest to the society. Such a praise will influence the audience. Means this phrase of the chief guest will be very significant and the audience will be attracted towards the introduction speech. The introducer or the host or the speaker only should focus on the chief guest topic. Means he should or she should tell only the topic of the chief guest, why the chief guest is qualified. Remember, we have invited that chief guest. Why we have invited that chief guest? Why that chief guest is qualified for that lecture? We should tell all that. We means the speaker, the host should tell all these things about the chief guest. Again, he should tell or she should tell why the audience must listen to him. It means that the host should tell completely the significance of the contribution of the chief guest. The host should explain first the essence of the topic. Means the host, that is she or he, must explain how the topic is important or how the topic is related with the audience. It is not needed to bring out all the ins and outs of the guest lecture. Means it is not necessary on the part of the host that he or she should explain the total lecture of the chief guest. The total lecture will be given by the chief guest, but he should give some corners of the chief guest lecture. Means why that lecture is very important, he or she must tell about that. He should heed or she should heed at audience thirst. Means the speaker should understand what the audience are demanding, what is the appetite, what is the thirst, what is the hunger of the audience. It means that they should know what audience needs. That is the important point here. He should explain about the books, articles, qualification, and the importance of the speech and the chief guest. In the conclusion, the introducer or the host must talk on the guest welcome. He, that is the introducer, should invite the audience to welcome the guest. It means that he should say, now we are going to introduce our guest. He or she, that is the speaker, the host, should say, I am excited to listen to him. Means he should show or she should show that the lecture, that the speech of the chief guest is very attractive, very impressive, and that's why he has been excited to listen to that lecture, that speech. And that's why all the audience will be attracted and they will also be impressed by that lecture. Please join now to welcome our chief guest. And so finally he should say to all the audience that audience, please join to welcome our chief guest, and then the chief guest will deliver his lecture. So here today we have finished the topic Occasions and Examples part first. Again there will be a new topic with us. We will be there in front of each other with a new topic. Till then, thank you very much.